morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2016 NCAA Division III Men's Soccer Championship at Bellow Field in Medford, Massachusetts. Today's third-round game features the Tufts University Jumbos versus the University of Massachusetts-Boston Beacons.
Good, thank you. Halftime.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the lineups for today's game between the Jumbos and the Beacons. The referee is Jose Mendez. The first assistant referee is Amilcar Sikahu. The second assistant referee is Mike Correa. The alternate referee at the scores table is John Lazaro. For the visiting team, the UMass-Boston Beacons, let's meet the non-starters. A freshman goalkeeper from West Weymouth, Mass, number 1, Aiden Carter. A senior tri-captain back from Tijuana, Mexico, number 5, Miguel Alcantara. A senior back from Cape Verde, number 11, Edmilson Barros. A senior midfielder from Framingham, Mass, number 13, Ricky Bonilla. A junior forward from Brazil, number 15, Gabriel Gomez Pereira. A junior forward from Medway, Mass, number 16, Matt Coakley. A senior midfielder from Cape Verde, number 17, Clismin Mendez. A sophomore midfielder from Wales, number 19, Jake Higgins. Freshman forward from Brazil, number 22, Julio Da Silva. A junior forward from Wilmington, Delaware, number 24, Calvin Smick. A sophomore back from Brookline, Mass, number 29, Surrey Chivali. A freshman forward from Brazil, number 31, Rafael De Sousa. Freshman goalie from Amsterdam, number 33, Sandro Van Kuyk. Now the starters for the Beacons. A junior back from Guiana, Brazil, number 3, Marcelo Cunha. A senior back from Praia, Cape Verde, number 4, Pedro Cavallo. A senior tri-captain back from Brazil, number 6, Mateus Reis. A junior from Sao Paulo, Brazil, number 9, Giovanni Lima. A sophomore midfielder from Revere, Mass, number 12, Mohamed Kenaway. A freshman midfielder from Weymouth, Mass, number 14, Jake Davenport. A sophomore midfielder from Fogo, Cape Verde, number 18, Jonathan Cardoso. A senior tri-captain back from Brockton, Mass, number 20, Arlindo Gonçalves. A sophomore midfielder from Saugus, Mass, number 23, Guilherme Barbosa. A freshman back from Melrose, Mass, number 27, Dustin Pior. And in goal for the Beacons, a freshman from Woonsocket, Rhode Island, number 99, Omar Castro Dreher. Assistant coaches for UMass-Boston are Andrew Branton, Vasily Yakimkin, Alex Kudo, Estive Sosa, and Alfonso Rosales. Head coach of the Beacons in his 4th season is Jake Beverland. Now the reserves for Tufts. Sophomore goalkeeper from Montclair, New Jersey, we're number 0, Connor Meath. A junior goalie from Brewster, Mass, number 1, Bruce Johnson. Freshman midfielder from Concord, Mass, number 2, Gavin Tasker. A junior midfielder from Scotch Plains, New Jersey, number 3, Christian Zazali. A junior midfielder from Bolinas, California, number 7, Dexter Eichhorst. Freshman midfielder from Morris Plains, New Jersey, number 8, Jack Delaney. Freshman forward from Yardley, Pennsylvania, number 12, Joseph Braun. Freshman midfielder from Lansing, Michigan, number 17, Zach Lane. Sophomore back from Red Bank, New Jersey, number 18, Josh Murphy. Sophomore back from New York City, number 20, Jackson Najjar. Senior co-captain forward from Williamstown, Mass., number 24, Nathan Majumder. A junior back from Raleigh, North Carolina, number 27, Matt Zinner. Freshman midfielder from Madison, New Jersey, number 29, Brett Rojas. Now the starters for Tufts. A junior back from St. Louis, number 5, Stephen McMillian. Senior co-captain midfielder from Cranberry, New Jersey, number 6, Zach Holliday. A junior midfielder from Cranberry, New Jersey, number 9, Kevin Holliday. A senior forward from Hollywood, Florida, number 10, Gaston Becherano. A senior back from Brooklyn, New York, number 11, Daniel Sullivan. A senior midfielder from Narberth, Pennsylvania, number 13, Kevin Lawson. A freshman midfielder from Honolulu, number 14, Zachary Trevorrow. A junior midfielder from Wayne, New Jersey, number 16, Tyler Kalsar. A sophomore back from Case Elizabeth, Maine, number 19, Sterling Weatherby. A junior back from Phoenix, number 22, Connor Coleman. And in goal for Tufts, a senior from Weymouth, Mass., number 30, Scott Greenwood. Assistant coaches for Tufts are Brian Harkin, Mark Waterman, Connor Brown, and Fernando Valencia. Head coach of the Jumbos is Josh Shapiro.
Good morning, soccer fans, and welcome to the third rounds for the NCAA D3 Men's Soccer Tournament. I'm your host, Andrew McMillan, alongside Matt Macy-Phelps, as we turn and face the flag for the national anthem. And as the late, great Ernie Banks once said, it's a beautiful day for a ball game, so let's play two. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. We've got Tufts Jumbos versus the UMass-Boston Beacons up first in just about a couple of minutes right now, followed up by Trinity, Texas versus Kenyon College from Ohio. And Matt, and I'm alongside Matt Macy-Phelps right now. Matt, what do you think we have to look for in this game right now?
Well, it's going to be composure. Coming off the controversial game last weekend against Haverford, UMass-Boston had 2 red cards in the game, including a potential assault on the referee. So we're going to see how they replace those 2 starters that got reds, and we'll see if they can remain composed. They have 30 yellow cards on the air and now 3 red cards, whereas Tufts has no red cards on the air and 16 yellow cards. So we'll see if UMass-Boston can regain their composure with this game.
Indeed. That was a freshman, or one of their starting freshmen, O'Kane Williamson from Jamaica, actually, who is not going to be around for this game, nor will Joshua Kang, one of their starting defenders. So it'll be very interesting to see how UMass can recover and move forward. But it's an interesting storyline coming from the Tufts side of things because not a terrible season, but probably not the best season they've ever had either, especially considering that they went down to Bowdoin in the first round of the NESCAC tournament. And yet here they are all the way into the Sweet 16 for the NCAA National Tournament. And Matt, what does that say about the Tufts team?
Yeah, well, with Tufts, when the NCAA Tournament Committee was looking at their resume, they were looking at the wins, not so much the losses. Seeing quality wins at Brandeis and a 3-0 win over one of the favorites in this tournament, Amherst, really secured Tufts a third consecutive at-large bid into this tournament.
which then says nothing of the journey that Tufts so far has actually gone through to get to this point, with big wins over Rowan University and Springfield. Springfield coming, both of these wins coming down in New Jersey, and Rowan actually another one of the favorites to win this tournament. I believe they were the top seed in their sectional. But that is not the case anymore, as Tufts is now going up against the number 13 UMass-Boston Beacons. Very interesting game coming forth from this Jumbo Beacon matchup, and we'll see how players to watch, though, especially from UMass-Boston, will be Mohamed Kenaway, a junior midfielder, alongside Marcelo Cunha, one of the backs, Jake Davenport, number 14, a forward, along with Guillermo Barboza. So be on the lookout for those players, especially Mohamed Kenaway, who is approaching, actually, a couple of very cool milestones for the UMass-Boston Beacons. He needs one more game-winning goal. He currently has 6, which is tied for the single-season record for the UMass-Boston Beacons. So if he gets another game-winning goal here, that'll put him in sole possession of the single-season record. And in only 2 seasons so far with the UMass-Boston Beacons, he is 6th all-time in points with 68, and second in the all-time standings for single-season points with 43. So a good game from him here could really put him over the top and send him into the UMass-Boston history books. But starting off, looks like UMass-Boston is going to be with the kick. Those are Giovanni Lima and Mohamed Kenaway himself starting off the ball as we get this Sweet 16 action underway.
Yeah, notice for how high Tufts will pressure them. UMass-Boston, they average over 3 goals per game, whereas Tufts has only given up 11 on the year, so we'll see what the flow of play will be here.
Reese sends it up to Barbosa, who sends it right back to Cardoso. Over to Perot. Big kick from Castro Dreyer is taken by Tufts, but recovered by UMass. That's Lima moving up the line. A little bit of fancy feet action is still picked up by UMass, but is then taken away by the Jumbos. Jumbo defense shuts down and keeps it going as the dual attack moves forward, but that is taken back by the number 4 man, De Cavarro. And so important to note for our fans that the field that we're playing on is a turf field that the men's soccer team shares with the men's lacrosse team. So there's a lot of markings which don't look like they make much sense right now, but so it's important to remember that it's only the midfield white combination with the yellow lines, and then the yellow lines themselves on the very far borders. That denotes where the ball's going to go, and along with the penalty boxes and where and when the important territory starts and ends. So that's sent out by Tufts as Gonsalves moves in to take the throw.
Both teams getting out here really quick. You can see there's some anxiousness on both ends.
Throw in down to Lima is contested, but sent out by the Jumbos again as the Beacons move up the line. Gonsalves with the throw again. Contested, taken back by McMillian, sent up to, and that's Holiday, moving up the line as he beats Barboza.
And a great
Holiday
ball.
Sent in, isn't quite controlled by Lawson, who sends it back to Weatherby, who centers it. Holiday tries again. No good, and that's a corner kick for Tufts. And the first really nice, first good opportunity for the Jumbos here, about 3 minutes in, or 2.5 minutes into play.
And they're sending up Coleman and Sullivan there, the center backs.
This is Kevin Lawson, senior midfielder from Narberth, Pennsylvania. That's Stephen McMillian, the junior back from St. Louis, Missouri, all the way up, pushing very far forward. So Lawson moves forward to give him an option. Kick is lofted. Missed header from Halliday. No good. Ball is regained by Gonsalves, and the Beacons take the kick from the box. pass to De Carvalho, or that's the pass to De Carvalho. That was Reese on the play. UMass moving up the line. Halliday contesting. Throwing for the Beacons. Rowdy crowd from the Tufts side of things. They're really packed bleachers here for both teams. It's a really cool thing for two local teams to be playing in a late round action in a local stadium. So lots of fans from both sides here packing the stands. Beacons defense regains control. That's Cunha passing over to Reese. Reese passes right into the jumbo defense, and that's gained by Weatherby. Ping-pongs around. Halliday back to Weatherby. Weatherby considers his options. Sends it right back to the middle for, it's Daniel Sullivan. Sullivan over to the other side for Coleman. Coleman up to McMillian. Not many options, and the Beacons contest and regain control. But that's taken back by the Jumbo's defense. A lot of pressure from the UMass-Boston Beacons right now, keeping the Jumbo defense on its toes. As you can hear the Let's Go defense chants from the Jumbo side of the bleachers. Still moving around, or excuse me, Beacons. Mishearing that from my end. That one's set back to reset. Contested by Gaston Becherano. Still Beacons ball.
And Tufts content to sit in here and challenge from the middle.
Challenged again, and that's going to be a Beacon throw-in. Reese with the ball. Sends it down to De Carvalho. Carvalho working. No options there. Cardoso sends it over to the far side. Stephen McMillian challenging. That's Gonsalves on the right side. Big slide from McMillian, sends it right out, and a throw in for the Beacons.
McMillian's never shy on those slide tackles.
Never afraid to get physical, which the Jumbos are going to have to be in order to keep with the Beacons. But that's exactly what they did in their win over Springfield just this past weekend. Another physical team that was playing hard, and Tufts had to play hard to stay with them, and they managed to blank them in a 2-0 victory on their way to playing against the Rowans, or Rowan University Profs. De Carvalho still working the ball as a big slide from Keith Lawson. Takes the ball away and sends it right back up the line. That's Halliday. Sends the ball up to Gaston Becherano. That's Barboza working the ball. Sends it right, but Zach Halliday sends it right back out.
And we're seeing a lot of physical play from Halliday there. Senior captain, he's looking to make sure his team doesn't get bullied around. We saw a lot of physical contact from the Beacons in their last two games, so Halliday's making sure they don't get beaten up in the midfield.
That's Perot sending it right back out. Looks like a pushing foul on
offside
on Lima for the Beacons. Ball goes back to Jumbo possession, and a big shove from Lima gives the Jumbos another free kick. Jumbos will slow it down this time as McMillian sets up and starts looking for options.
Good to see the referee already getting on top of the fouls. He obviously knows the implications of this game, especially with the backstory for UMass, so good to see him get the whistle out and early.
It's Lawson on the ball now for the kick. All the backs moving forward. All the Jumbos are up in the enemy territory now. Big kick from Lawson's, lofts it right in. Good setup, but that's challenged by the keeper, Omar Castro-Dreyer, and sent right back to the Beacons' possession. That's Barbosa moving up the line, but he's immediately challenged by Weatherby. Weatherby and Halliday. Big kick, though, from Reese. Will send the ball out as Weatherby takes the throw-in. Weatherby down to Becherano. Ball is sent out for the Beacons as Reese takes the throw-in. Reese back to Cunha. Cunha, the junior back from Brazil, moves it forward. A couple of fake outs, but then sends it forward. As Kenaway far forward, doesn't have quite the room to make the opportunity work. And a nice cross is not found by anyone, and that ball's going to roll out of bounds for the No, that's going to be saved by the jumbo midfielder whose number can't quite see from here. But McMillian challenges again. Still working with Gonzalez. That's going to be a battle we're going to see a lot for the rest of this game is McMillian versus Gonzalez. As Gonzalez is a big playmaker for these Beacons, but McMillian is just as big a defender who can smother attacks quite well with his physicality. Scott Greenswood motioning his players to move forward. And there's another really key piece to this jumbo effort right now, because you can't really quite call it an attack, but he had a couple of really stellar games this past weekend in NCAA play, especially against the Rowan Profs, a highly ranked team who were honestly favorites to move into the Final Four, but the Jumbos defeated them 1-0 last weekend. Reese with the ball, stalling for time. That's sent right into the UMass section by Zach Halliday. Ball is tossed back onto the field as play is stopped to get it back. Reese with the throw in, Kenaway supporting. That one's lofted but is intercepted by Kolsar. Zach Halliday sends it forward for Besharano, who can't quite get there, and Castro Dreyer is there to pick it up, who rolls it right back to Cunha. Cunha moving it up. Big kick forward to Gonzalez. Gonzalez and McMillian still fighting over that. But that's kicked right back out to number 14 for the Jumbos, Trevorrow. Trevorrow moving up the line for Besharano.
Yeah, and the Jumbos haven't been able to establish their offensive game on the wings yet, so we'll see if Trevorrow can start linking up with Besharano a little better.
Besharano, the Jumbos' leading scorer, so look for him to make some big plays before the half is over. Some more challenges, ends up with a goal kick for the Beacons. As Castro Dreyer sets up. Reese on the wing for the Beacons. But Castro Dreyer is just going to send this up as far as he can. Kick is lofted. Challenged by Halliday. Zach Halliday, that is. It's right back to Reese, who sends it far out for Kenaway, trying to juggle it, but that's Sterling Weatherby challenging and kicking the play dead. Reese comes back for the throw. Reese to De Carvalho, still challenged by Weatherby. Or excuse me, that is Kevin Lawson. Kevin Halliday challenging there. Lawson again, centers it. Picked up by Cardosa. That's sent right back to Reese with a big kick. Sends it right into Sullivan, who heads it back out. Lawson with another head. Mateus Reese gets to set up again. Becheron challenging this time, trying to keep the play from progressing anymore. De Carvalho. Big slide from, that's Kevin Lawson again. Nice play from the defender to make something happen. Becherano denied by Cardoso. That's another Beacon ball as Reese with a big throw is denied by Lawson. And Reese gets to set up once again. Becheron challenging. De Carvalho just barely saves it. And that's sent back to Cunha, who resets and looks to create something on the right side of the field for the Beacons. That's passed over to Perot. Sent up the field, a little bit of a mishmash, but Kenaway is there.
Yeah, and Kenaway's been running all over the field, switching left and right. And UMass has scored 5 goals off corners this year. Certainly a danger to Greenwood.
Kenaway sets up on the kick for this one as the Beacons move into the penalty box. Just a little bit of a mishmash right now. Big power on there. Big, nice save from Greenwood, though. Ball's still in play. Jumbos need to clear. Ball is up. Still very much in play, though. And McMillian grabs control, sends it flying back out.
And Greenwood's not the tallest keeper, and that was quite a mosh pit in there, but he's got to get to that ball when it was popped up there.
Reese to Kenaway. Kenaway wrestling with Lawson. Lawson still challenging. That's popped right back out, but Kevin Halliday is not quite there to make it. That's Barbosa moving up the line, right to De Carvalho. De Carvalho, nice cross, but that's straight into a Tufts defender. Zach Halliday taking control, slows the game down, sends it right up to Kevin Halliday. Halliday taking his time as the Jumbo offense ponderously moves past the half line. Back to Weatherby. Weatherby up to Zach Halliday. Zach Halliday to Kevin Lawson. Back to Zach Halliday. Crosses over to Connor Coleman, who sends it up to Stephen McMillian. Pressure. And that's turned over right back to the Beacons. That's Jake Davenport on the ball. Kenaway, challenged by Weatherby. Weatherby takes it right back and sends it back to Sullivan.
And you can see there, Tufts with their cautious approach in the midfield allowed them to have the numbers. UMass would have had a break there normally, but Tufts with 6 men back on that.
Weatherby right up to Halliday. This is Zach Halliday now with a pass up to Kevin Lawson. Lawson unable to make something happen. And a big hit on number 9, Lima. That was from Jumbo number 16, Tyler Kolser. And a free kick for the Beacons allows them to reset. Very cautious approach from the Jumbos right now. Not really able to make anything happen, and really only with Becheron making any deep forays into the Beacon territory. Challenges, tries to grab that away. Trip from Barbosa. A little bit of a flop from, that's number 6, Zach Halliday, trying to pull the call from the ref, but the ref isn't buying it. It's Beacon ball as Pior, I've been pronouncing that name wrong, Pior, number 27, back for the Beacons, sends that right in for Gonsalves. Back to Pior. Pior to Cardoso. That's Davenport clearing it up to Lima. And Kenaway breaks away. It's 1-on-4 right now, so he's going to need to do a little bit of fancy footwork to make something happen. And McMillian challenging. Big shot blocked by McMillian, and that's going to be a corner kick for the Beacons again.
Yeah, good job from Kenaway holding up there and winning a corner kick with no numbers by his side.
Speaks to the raw skill that he has, and the Jumbos are really going to have to do a bit more to shut him down and keep him from creating plays the way he does if they're going to have success, because the Beacons have done a really great job of supporting Kenaway and keeping the pressure on the Jumbo's defense. Jumbo defense has proven equal to the challenge right now, but it's a long game and there's still a lot to play.
And first substitution of the game, Rafael D'Souza coming on for Giovanni Lima.
Play is whistled dead. And the ref motions towards the Beacon goal, and that appears to be a free kick for the Jumbos as Greenwood steps up to take it. That's a goal kick, excuse me. Goal kick set up. A little more aggressive formation from the Jumbos now, as more than half the team is in Beacon territory. Big kick from Greenwood, sails over. And a little bit of contest between the players right now. Makes something happen, but can't gain control. That's Barbosa with the ball. Sends it right back to Reese. Barbosa again. Fighting with Zach Halliday on that one. That's regained by Mateus Reese. Reese with the pass up to Kenaway. Kenaway immediately challenged by Weatherby.
And just lazy positioning from Kenaway on the offside there.
Weatherby back to Coleman. Or Sullivan, excuse me. Daniel Sullivan out to Connor Coleman now. Connor Coleman with the ball. Back to Weatherby as they consider their options. No pressure right now. No point for the Beacons to really try to move that far up. Coleman in control of the ball now. Coleman back to Coulser. Coulser to Zach Halliday. Halliday back to Sullivan. And a little bit too much thinking right now from the Tufts. A little bit too much thinking, not quite enough acting right now, as that's Trevorrow moving in. And a big head from Sterling Weatherby sends the ball right back to ideal positioning. But Becherano can't quite get there. De Carvalho fighting. Gives the ball back to Kenway. With support coming up from Gonsalves, and the Beacons are putting together some more pressure on this Jumbo defense. Gonsalves moving in. Rejected by McMillian. McMillian keeping his hands behind his back, but that's sent back out. Cleared by Sullivan. Bescherano. Passed up to Bescherano, back to Halliday. That's Zach Halliday now. Cleared by the Beacons, and that's going to be a Jumbo throw-in. Currently now, I don't know if you've noticed this either, but the UMass defense, there hasn't been a lot of it. The aggressive offensive play style for the Beacons right now, especially loading up the flanks. Not a lot of stuff coming down the middle, but especially around the wings and from the corners have done a lot of good job of keeping the Jumbos cautious on the defense, which is really limiting their choices for offense. But some more things are happening for the Jumbos. That was Trevorrow making a play, but denied by the Beacon defense.
Yeah, excellent ball from Halliday, working it into the corner of the box with Trevorrow there.
Jumbos reset back to the halfway, to the midfield line. Sterling Weatherby takes it, but Jeff Carvalho's there to challenge. A little bit of ping-ponging around. And a free kick is awarded to the Jumbos on that. A little bit too rough of play from De Carvalho. De Carvalho's a little miffed. But the call stands, and Weatherby looks to take the kick. As Kenway challenges. Takes the minimum rec back. McMillian sets up as the Jumbos look to scatter as soon as McMillian signals that he's ready. They do. Lofted. Sent right back to the Beacon defense, who give it right back to the Jumbo offense. Denied. Well, missed kick from Weatherby. Weatherby to Lawson. That was Trevorrow making a play happen, and a big hit in the penalty box with no call from the ref on that one, judging that to be a clean play and just a equally damaging hit to both parties.
Yeah, no complaints from Sullivan on that. It was a little bit of a shout, but both guys are going for the ball equally.
Absolutely. Rough play, it's going to happen. Equally.
Fishman Mendez enters to replace number 4, Pedro Di Carvalho. Also for the Beacons, number 11, Edmilson Barros.
And Edmilson Barros and Kuzma Mendez coming in for the Beacons.
The two of them are actually looking to play in their 23rd game this season, which is in itself a program record. This is the longest season the UMass-Boston Beacons have ever had. Their second longest season coming was 22 games back in 2014 when they were eliminated from the NCAA tournament.
And for the Jumbos, Gavin Tasker coming in to play on the left wing.
Kuzma Mendez passes into Barbosa. No good though, and that's sent right back to the Jumbo offense. Halliday back to Lawson. Lawson to Bescherano. Bescherano back to Halliday. Halliday and McMillian. And the Jumbos reset with their cautiously optimistic offense.
Yeah, and we'll see when Shapiro looks to make a sub going forward. Going with the lone striker is allowing them to play cautiously, and UMass-Boston really haven't had any significant chances yet, but we'll see if Tufts wants to go more offensively with 2 up front.
Davenport makes a nice play, but that's caught right back by Daniel Sullivan and Connor Coleman, who take control of the ball. Stephen McMillian passes it far up into the box, with Bescherano there. Challenging. Nothing doing, though. That was Gavin Tasker now, newly subbed in. Fresh legs for the Jumbo offense. Big hit, saved by Greenwood. Only the second time he's had to make serious contact with the ball. Not a serious challenge either, just a simple collection of the ball. Rolled out to Weatherby. Weatherby to Kolsar, who sends it right back to Sullivan. Back to Coleman. Coleman's pass to Halliday is good. Sent right back. McMillian sends it back to Coleman. To Sullivan. Weatherby is uncontested right now, and he'll move that up as he considers his options. Takes it himself, but he loses the battle to Barbosa, who brings it right back to Jumbo territory. Back to Kenaway, who's charging. A little bit of fancy footwork. Beats Coleman. Keeps moving it, but that attack is by Daniel Sullivan, and that's going to be a goal kick for Scott Greenwood to take. And another nice play from a lot of pressure from just a couple of UMass-Boston Beacons on this one.
Yeah, Kenaway's been pretty much the sole force for the Beacons going forward. He really needs his teammates to link up with, but going against 4 defenders himself won't really do it.
Greenwood lofts a mighty kick into Beacon territory. Contested, but not taken until Bescherano manages to bring it back to Halliday. That's Kevin Halliday. Kevin Halliday out to Gavin Tasker. Charges after it. No play on the ball there, and that's going to be a Beacon throw-in. Gonzalez with the throw-in. And that's cleared back to Coleman, who takes control and sends it up to Zach Halliday. Zach Halliday crosses back to Weatherby. As the Jumbos now make another serious push into Beacon territory. Lawson to Halliday. Halliday with a nice no-look pass to Weatherby. Weatherby clears it at center, but that's foiled by Mateus Reese.
Shouts for a hand in the box. It popped up and got Cardoso on the hand, referee not giving it.
Lawson, Halliday. That's back to Sullivan with Kenaway challenging and foiled by Sullivan, who passes it up straight into Davenport. Davenport and Kolsar fighting for it. Big cross from Kevin Lawson as Tasker tries to control it, and that's going to be cleared far out of that's going to clear the field, actually. Jumbo throw-in. Still very much Jumbo possession right now. They're making a serious push. It's kind of a ponderous effort, though. It's not just a very quick, fluid 3 or 4 man attack. They've got everyone up there right now with just a couple of backs at the midfield line to make sure contain whatever might break out from whatever action might break out from the melee that's going on.
Yeah, and the Jumbos switching left backs and strikers here. They'll try to get something out of Majumder in these last 20 minutes of the first half, and Matt Zinner filling in for McMillian.
Nathan Majumder, the hero of the Rowan game versus Tufts, scoring the only goal in the first half, would eventually prove to be the game winner. We'll look for some big plays from him as Bescherano gets a rest after being the only striker against this tough UMass-Boston defense. And an interesting thing to note is that just looking at the splits for UMass-Boston, it looks as if they beat a lot of their opponents just by like a war of attrition, because with the stats, goals by period, shots by period, they easily outshoot their opponents by, over the course of the season, it's 200 or 250 shots per period, whereas they only allow about 100 shots per period from their opponents. Jumbos come out of that scrap with the ball. That's Weatherby passing to Kolsar. Kolsar behind the back pass to that was to Zimmer. And a free kick awarded to the Beacons. Tasker pops right back up. None the worse for the fall on that one. And that one's passed right back to Mateus Reese. Or, excuse me, Marcelo Cunha. Cunha to Reese, as Reese once again sets up. Weatherby. Big kick, sends it right back out to Majumder, who gets it back down to Tasker. Tasker with a big crossover to Lawson, who's challenging Reese. Still shoulder from Reese. Keeps the ball alive for the Beacons, who get the throw in. And this is Mendez in the game right now, who hasn't hasn't seen too much action yet, but has made his presence known on the left side for the Beacons. Kolsar sends it right to Halliday. That's Zach Halliday. Coleman allows Mendez to keep the ball going, and Mendez is moving, trips over himself, and that's going to be.
That'll be at least a yellow card. Wouldn't even be shocked to see a red card actually, but it'll probably be a yellow. Yeah, just a horrible mistake by Coleman there, taking his time with no cover. Sullivan wasn't positioned well enough to get back in time, and Zinner had to make the foul, and he gets the yellow. And that's a hard yellow.
Just a really unfortunate lapse of judgment on Coleman's part, who just was not expecting the intensity from Mendez to keep coming, and then with Kenaway charging up through the center, not a lot of options for Coleman. So hard yellow and a really unfortunate mistake made by the Jumbo defense. So they'll reset. Wall right in front of the free kick, which is going to be taken by Cunha.
And Coach Shapiro might want to consider taking out Zinner. Not much purpose in having a player who is on a yellow, and you really can't afford a red early in the game. And that was a hard yellow, so I don't think the ref will be too reluctant to give him another one.
Kick is just a really beautiful free kick. Sends it right over the Jumbo wall, and would have been going in were it not for a really beautiful save from Scott Greenwood, who just barely manages to tip it over and gives the Jumbos a goal kick.
Got it. There's a little force field between his hand there because he didn't manage to touch it. Won the goal kick, but definitely playing with fire there. But he knew where his crossbar was.
Kevin Lawson checks out for Zach Lane. Zach Lane, number 17.
Yes, the Jumbos with the young, pacey wingers here in Tasker and Lane.
This is Brett Rojas now for the Jumbos at midfield. Thrown right back out, and Mendez will take the throw on this one. Ball sent right back to Mendez. That'll be Daniel Sullivan clearing it out as Mateus Reese grabs the throw. Sends it right back to Mendez. Tries to fake out the Jumbo defense, but Weatherby is not fooled. Zach Lane sends it to the center. Brett Rojas. That one's to Kolser. Kolser to Zinner. Zinner wins the confrontation on that one and gets the throw in for the Jumbos. Shapiro leaving Zinner in. Willing to risk the red card on this one. Zinner with a really nice cross, but the play can't be made by Majumder, who and is picked up quite nicely by Castro Dreyer. Sullivan with a head to fend off Mendez. Another head from Weatherby. It's going to be Zach Lane now challenging, keeping the pressure on. Rojas. And the Beacons manage to keep moving around, but Zach Halliday picks that up and takes it right back into Beacon territory. Pass back to Weatherby. Weatherby crosses behind everyone. Gavin Tasker moving into challenge number 31. That's D'Souza for the Beacons. Coleman to Zinner. Zinner sends it right back up to Rojas and Tasker. Tasker up the line. Goes nowhere, and that's going to be a Jumbo ball. Rojas immediately sends it back to Zinner. Zinner with a cross to Majumder, who's almost had control of that, but the numbers just quite weren't there. Zach Lane moves to challenge as Barboza moves in. But Kolser is there. Kolser sends it right back to Weatherby.
And it was good composure from Mateus Reese, and that's inside the box there with Majumder. Majumder just taking a little too much time, and Reese with a solid challenge, not worried about committing a foul there. Cleared it out.
Cardosa sends it right back to Reese, who sends it back to Cunha. Cunha and Reese have been the rock of this Beacon defense, not letting anything happen for the Jumbos. Majumder keeps the pressure on as Pior starts moving up to Jumbo territory. Big kick right into the Jumbo defense, so that's Coleman picking up the ball as Majumder brings it right back. Sends it up the line to Tasker, but Rojas intercepts. Rojas with a big cross for Zach Lane as he moves in. Header Can't quite control. And that's going to be picked up by Castro Dreyer, the freshman goalkeeper, who's also done a really nice job. Not really many serious plays put together by the Jumbo offense, but still working nicely with Reese and Cunha to keep the Jumbos at 0. Sent up to Mendez, or excuse me, that is Barros, Edmilson Barros. But that's taken away by the Jumbo defense as Brett Rojas moves back into Beacon territory. Tries to pass up to Majumder, but that's foiled by Reese and Barbosa. Barbosa right back to Davenport. Davenport sends it up to Barros, but that's taken away by Sullivan. Zach Halliday to Majumder. Majumder, a quick pass to Zach Lane, who can't control, and that's going to be a Beacon throw-in. A little more fluidity now from the Jumbo offense now with these, as you said, these pacey wingers in Zach Lane and Gavin Tasker. Some more sort of flowing back and forth between Jumbo and Beacon territory, as that's cleared right up into Beacon territory with Majumder alone against 3 UMass defenders. Keeps the ball, and that's going to be sent out for a corner kick. First corner kick since about the 10th minute or so for the Jumbos, and their next big opportunity to make a play in the first half. This looks like Zinner, Matt Zinner, the junior back.
And both teams struggling to get the final ball in. I wonder if it's the 11 a.m. start time, but none of these players look too sharp in setting that final ball in. Good look there from Majumder, but put it right over the bar.
Just a tiny bit too much power from Majumder. Sends it right back and allows the Beacons to reset. Casper Dreyer for the kick as the Jumbo defense moves mostly back past the midfield line. Lane, Majumder, and Rojas staying forward as Tasker and Zach Halliday stay to challenge. But that's Colser on the ball against Kenaway. Little trip for Colser, but that plays clean. Cleared by Reese. That's going to be saved by number 31, D'Souza. Sent right back out by Tasker, and that's going to be a Beacon throw-in. And a double substitution for the Beacons as Kenaway checks out for the first time, as does Barros, and that's going to be Calvin Smick and Jake Higgins moving in for the Beacons.
Replaces number 11, Milson Barros. Also in for the Beacons, number 19, Jake Higgins. Replaces number 12, Mohammed Kenaway.
We'll try to use Smick's pace. Certainly doesn't have a size advantage over the defense.
Good pass up to Majumder, who resets. Tries to get Rojas, but Rojas can't quite catch up with it. Higgins fights for it, but that's cleared right back into Weatherby. But that'll be picked up by Castro Dreyer. Picked up by Dreyer and sent right back out to Gonzalez, or excuse me, Pior. That's Pior moving up the line, up the right wing for the Beacons. To and from Jake Davenport as Majumder continues to challenge. As the sole striker, he's got to keep the pressure on. Cunha out to Reese. Zach Lane with the challenge, but that's going to be picked up by Weatherby and the Jumbo defense and taken right back by Lane. Lane passes up to Majumder, who promptly gives it up to the Beacon defense, but the Beacon defense clears it right out, and that's a throw-in for Tufts. Weatherby picks it up. Pressure from the 2 new substitutions, Calvin Smick and Jake Higgins.
And Jackson Nadjar coming in to replace Tyler Colsar at central midfield role.
Mendez defeats, but Weatherby kicks it right back deep into Beacon territory. Cunha with the head. That's going to be Davenport. Tasker moves in, but Davenport is there. Cross from Tasker, sent right back out by Cunha. Still with Tasker.
Still neither team finding their groove offensively. They'll regroup. We'll see if the coaches make any changes at halftime, but unfortunately it looks like we're going to be in for a low-scoring affair today.
Zinner moves in, but that's going to be defeated by the big freshman, Destin Pure. Freshman back from Melrose, Mass. 6'1" and 190, so big guy. Really helps with the defense to stop the momentum. That one's picked up by Cardoso, but sent right back again to the Jumbos with Zinner on the throw, right to Zach Halliday. That'll be cleared by Barbosa, picked up by Coleman, followed by Sullivan. Higgins and Calvin Smick still working the pressure right now. That'll be to Weatherby. Zach Lane not quite there to keep control from the Beacons. Barbosa charging. Loses control for Sullivan. And that's going to be picked right back up by Rojas. Rojas considering. Finds Lane. Lane moving up the line. 2-on-1 is a difficult thing, and that's going to be a Beacon free kick, as Lane got a little too liberal with his physicality. Cunha will move in to take the kick on this one. Cunha sets. Big kick is taken by Zach Halliday, headed right back into the Beacon defense, who sends it right back to Halliday. Tasker back to Zinner. And still quite a bit of thinking going on from the Jumbos. Not a whole lot of just moving into figure out the defense. Big kick sent by Tasker over the net as we tick down into the final 6 minutes of regulation time in the first half. Still a little bit of stoppage time, but no real progress made on either end of the ball. Pass over to Reese. Mateus Reese bringing it out, but challenged by Lane. That's sent right back up to Rojas. Rojas back to Zinner.
Excellent defending there from Cardoso. He's been the rock in front of those back three for the Beacons all day. His performance is key for UMass-Boston's defense.
And a little misplay there. I believe that was Davenport who accidentally sent it out. You can see him shaking his head. Zinner takes the ball. The backs move up further into Beacon territory, and this will probably be the last real opportunity for the Jumbos unless they can really make something happen again. And a nice head from Majumder, but that's easily saved by Castro Dreyer. Looks pumped up about that save as well. He should be. Now slowing for time. Back to Reese. Challenged by Majumder. A lot more pressure on this Beacon defense now that there's some rangy attackers or strikers moving up. Weatherby quickly takes that throw in and sends it all the way back to midfield for Rojas, but that's intercepted by Davenport. Doesn't quite have the momentum to keep up with it. Rojas back to Weatherby. Weatherby crosses to Zinner, who's got a bit of open field in front of him, but he's being challenged by Calvin Smick, so he sends it right back to Coleman. Coleman, Sullivan, Zach Halliday. Halliday's cross to Weatherby is good, but he's challenged by Mendez. A little risky move up the line is saved by Lane, who moves in, and that's going to be another corner kick for the Jumbos. Jumbos with their second opportunity in as many minutes now to really crack this game open for themselves in the first half. Zinner slowly jogs his way over to the corner. Stalling for time. There's no rush either. There's not really any urgency, really no sense of urgency from either team right now to try to make something happen.
Yeah, at this point in the half, both teams not really finding their groove, kind of just want to get into halftime unscathed.
Which the Beacons do. A little bit of uncertainty there as the ball kind of pops around. Not really quite as messy as the maelstrom in front of the Jumbo goal about 20 minutes ago, but both teams not really willing to risk more in case a mistake is made and the other team can capitalize. So both teams content to just sort of sit on weighted defenses and just keep things from happening too quickly. But Mendez is moving up the line and deep into jumbo territory for the first time. He's supported by Jake Higgins. Higgins sends it right back to Barbosa. Big kick is going to be saved by, that's number 20 for the Jumbos, Jackson Najjar, excuse me.
Yeah, Najjar taking that off the nose.
Cunha to Reese. And they're content to just sort of think about it and let time whittle away as we have about 2.5 minutes left in this half.
And we just really haven't seen the connections being made in the final third for UMass, and it's really a testament to trying to replace Williamson and Kang, and they've just struggled all day so far.
Head from Weatherby is going to send it right into our field level camera.
And those two have combined for 25 goals and 14 assists on the year, and they still produce a ton of goals otherwise, but without them in the field, it's a clear difference that their offense is missing.
Throw to Barbosa is foiled by Weatherby. Battle between Majumder and Cunha is easily won by Cunha for the header. Rojas up to Lane. Lane back to Weatherby. Weatherby resets. 90 seconds left in the half. Charge from Barbosa is saved by Halliday as he passes over to Weatherby. Weatherby with a little bit of a turnover, but that's easily brought back by Rojas. Rojas to Tasker. Tasker takes control with a cross and a head from someone that looks to be
Halliday there.
As a Halliday. Nice save from Castro Dreyer as well. Another really great play from the freshman goalkeeper.
Yeah, the best opportunity of the game so far that we've seen, and there's one of those difficult headers right in front of the 6. It's a horrible angle for the goalie. He's got, every square inch to cover there, but a great save as well.
And now we're under a minute to play. This will be the last big play of the half as Zinner sets up for the corner once again. Jumbo's moving into the box. Header, no good. That'll trickle out for the Beacon goal kick as we now have 35 seconds left to play in the half. Jumbo defense will scramble back and make sure that nothing else can happen, but the Beacons know that the half is basically over at this point with no score from either team.
Yeah, and for the second half, we'll see if the coaches make any formation changes, but also which team comes out with more energy in the second half. Still waking up as Majumder gets forward.
Majumder in the last 10 seconds, and that's going to be a foul called on Majumder, it looks like, as the ref motions towards the Jumbo goal. Majumder still on the ground, though. Slow to get up. Probably just selling it, though. It was couldn't quite tell what happened from here, but he's on his hands and knees right now, so some of the trainers coming over to make sure he's all right. But it looks like he'll be able to get up and get off the field under his own power, which is a good sign for this Jumbo offense, as he's definitely one of their playmakers to make shots on goal and happen. So at the end of the first half, no score in this Jumbo's Beacons game, and so what was the not a lot of action happened, but what would you say is the most surprising thing about that first half, Matt?
Really just UMass's failure to replace the production up top. They haven't been grooving with their connections. And the Jumbo's just some errant passes going forward. So we'll look to see for more chances in the second half.
And if I was, a fly on the wall in Coach Shapiro's room, I'd honestly say that this was probably a good half for them, because just as I was pointing out earlier, the Beacons have won a lot of. They've only actually lost one game, and that was really a tough loss to. It was Eastern Connecticut, I believe, in the Little East Conference, and but they've won every single one of their other games really by outlasting their opponents. It's just a war of attrition when you go up against the Beacons, who can they can really outgrit you and just plain old out out willpower you, because they did it against Haverford. They were playing down 2 men for a good portion of the game. So we'll look to see what they can do in the second half against the Jumbos. So we'll be back after a few minutes for the second half of this Tufts Jumbos versus the UMass-Boston Beacons game. We'll see you in a bit.
It's shit. Everything's going well. The only Bernie. Yo, Brad. Brad. Hey, Brad. Is Bernie over there? Can you ask him? I can tell that the picking thing is the sound, the pop is coming from down here. Should I just tighten up the cables? Tighten up all the connections, or what's happening? The pop sound is coming from down here. Should I just tighten up all the connections?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, it didn't do anything? Then I'll just move it.
Yeah, it might have been my fault. You turned it off.
No, you're fine.
And welcome back, soccer fans. Just about a little bit less than a minute away from the second half, and time to see what these teams can do with another 45 minutes to butt heads for the berth to the Elite Eight and the winner of tomorrow's Kenyon College versus Trinity, Texas game, or rather, that's tomorrow's game is the winner of this game and the next. So. Jumbo's with the kickoff now. Now attacking away from the sun. We'll see what that could do. That's Bescherano, and looks to be Halliday up taking the ball for the Jumbos. On the wings, we've got that's Stephen McMillian and Zach Trevorrow looking to make some plays. But here we go. Just about ready to go. 45 minutes are on the clock. And let's get this second half underway. Excuse me, that's Kevin Halliday. That's Gaston Bescherano and Kevin Halliday on the ball for the Jumbos. Whistle's blown, and we're off. Back to Weatherby. Sterling Weatherby sends it far up for Bescherano, but that's going to be taken care of by Cunha. But that's headed right back into it by Zach Halliday. Cleared by Reese, and headed right back by Sullivan. Gonzalez, challenged by Trevorrow and Bescherano working together. That's going to be trickled out by the Jumbos as Gonzalez takes the throw in for this one. Or excuse me, this is Destin Pior. Pior, that's Davenport there. That's taken back by the Jumbos. Halliday back to Trevorrow. Trevorrow thinks, crosses. A little bit too much power there, and that's going to sail right over into De Cavallo. De Cavallo, who's checked back into the game for the second half. Ball gets away from Sullivan there, but Coleman's there to send it right back into Beacon territory. And that's Kevin Halliday there, working for it, but no good. Weatherby heads it to Zach Halliday. Halliday to another Jumbo player who doesn't send it out, and that's going to be a Jumbo throw-in. Jumbo's a little more feisty on the attack in the opening minutes of this second half, trying to make something happen before the Beacons can really settle into their groove, their defensive groove, that is. That's cleared out, though. Sullivan working against Giovanni Lima, who's also back.
A good chance there for Kevin Halliday, but the Jumbos aren't going to be able to get through that back three until they commit more numbers forward.
And that was Gonsalves making a really nice play to try to get the ball down in the penalty box, but Stephen McMillian was having none of it. Clears it out for the offense to bring it back. Trevorrow to Halliday. This is Kevin Halliday. Spin move, brings it back towards the center as Cardoso makes a play for it. That's going to be Lawson at the top of the box, who tries to pass to Bescherano, but they lose that, and the Beacons clear it out. But Halliday regains control, fighting with De Cavallo. De Cavallo back to Reese. Mateus Reese in control back in the far corner. Trying to bait. Successfully baits looks to be Zach Halliday into forcing a goal kick as Castro Dreyer takes control. Jumbos move back towards the midfield line. A little bit of pressure, though, from 3 strikers now, running what looks to be a 4-3-3 formation. Lawson fights for it, but that's taken by Lawson again. Bescherano working for it, and he overshoots, and Cunha clears it back out to Lima.
And Cunha's been a rock all day, absolutely composed and never worried about Bescherano there. It's tough to take on a first team All-NESCAC forward one-on-one like that, but he's done a marvelous job today.
Kolser is back in the game as well for one of the backs. Kolser moving forward into Beacon territory. Many options here, but the Beacons are spread out really nicely to counter. Shot on goal is easily saved by Castro Dreyer, who slips that into his torso, brings it back up to the top of the box. Trevorrow and Bescherano and Kevin Halliday now are all pretty permanently in Beacon territory. That's going to be sent out by the Beacons, and a quick throw in from Halliday, from Zach Halliday, will send it right back up to Kevin Halliday, who moves it further into UMass territory. Pass to Trevorrow, quick pass right back to Halliday, no good, and the Beacons will clear it out, and that's going to head straight for our booth, and a little bit of bouncing right in front of our camera. So McMillian will take the throw in on this one. Easy throw to Coleman, back to McMillian. Little exhortation from McMillian as Kevin Halliday lets the ball get away from him there. Crossed by Zach Halliday out to the wing. That was Tyler Kolser moving up the right side. Lawson making a play. Halliday with another shot. That goes wide. And that's going to be a corner kick, actually, for the Jumbos. That must have glanced off a Beacon player. And that's going to be Kevin Lawson setting up for the kick as the Jumbos move into the penalty box for, I believe, their 5th corner kick of the game, and their 1st of the half. So first opportunity here, about 5 minutes into this second half. Jumbos have definitely been a lot more aggressive on offense than they were in the first half. A lot of positioning right now as that's sent to Halliday, who's challenged, doesn't quite make it. And that's going to be a penalty on the Jumbos and a free kick in the penalty box for the Beacons. So essentially a goal kick, not officially, but essentially. And they'll reset as Trevorrow, Bescherano, and Kevin Halliday keep the pressure on. That's cleared up to the midfield line. Lawson jumps for it. Kolser tries to gain control, doesn't quite get there. And that's going to be Kenaway taking control as he charges straight into Jumbo territory. McMillian moving in. And a really nice shot from that was looks to be Barbosa. No, excuse me, Gonsalves.
Yeah, very dangerous ball, but didn't have quite the curl on it that it needed to get back to his men going forward.
Gonsalves with his own brand of aggressiveness this half, as he spent a lot of time in the backfield in the first half, but now has made 2 serious sojourns into Jumbo territory, and a really nice shot there, just a tiny bit wide, really beating the defender McMillian there.
Yeah, McMillian's been giving him that space today. When the Beacons decide to switch it over, he's got tons of room to work with, and McMillian comes back, but the Jumbos can afford that. McMillian's a great one-on-one defender on the ball.
And Gonsalves charging all the way back and foiling that play there as McMillian and Trevorrow try to make something happen, but Gonsalves keeps him smothered. Big kick from Halliday. That's Zach Halliday, as that's continued in the air by De Carvalho. Fight from Sullivan is beaten by the number 9 defender. That's Giovanni Lima. More cheers coming from the UMass-Boston side. Bescherano fighting, but loses the battle, and that's cleared out into Jumbo territory. As Coleman with an interesting header sends it right back to Kenaway, but then easily wins it back. And that's passed up to Trevorrow, who moves in one-on-one versus Pierre. But he centers that to Halliday, foiled by the number 3 man, Marcelo Cunha, who, as we've just can't praise him enough for the defense that he's provided for the UMass-Boston Beacons. Him and Mateus Reese both, along with Gonsalves.
And you saw there with that break with UMass-Boston with Kenaway, their attack has just been flat coming forward. They're not getting overlapping that they need, and it allows Tufts to just sitting back with 4 and defend it easily.
Gonsalves charging again, really making a nice effort there, but that's going to be defeated by Connor Coleman, who helps him right back up as Jumbos get another throw in. Big throw will be sent to Jake Davenport, who heads it to Kenaway. That's going to be a foul called on Kenaway and another free kick for the Jumbos as Destin Pior moves in to take the kick. Pior with an easy pass to Davenport, back to Pior. Still challenge from Bescherano and Halliday. Bescherano really moving on Cunha now. And that's Zach Halliday moving forward. Still challenging. Davenport with the ball. And that's going to be kicked away by Kevin Halliday. And a Beacon throw-in as Gonzalez takes the ball. And a double substitution now for the Beacons.
D'Souza and Mendez coming back in. We saw a lot of Mendez. He's essentially getting starters minutes in this game, but coming off the bench both halves.
And that's Gonzalez and Giovanni Lima who are being subbed out. And interesting choice for Gonzalez, who's really actually made his presence known in these first 10 minutes or so of the half. So maybe they want to keep him fresh for the final minutes to see if he can make something else happen as the game winds down. That being said, D'Souza moving up, challenging McMillian. McMillian successfully baits him into sending it out for a goal kick. Greenwood sets up now as both teams reset and move into the midfield. Still a bit of a 4-4-3 now for the Jumbos as they're focusing more on the offense rather than just keeping the defense weighted. It's going to be floated up for Kolsar, who wins the header, but then Davenport heads it right back into Jumbo territory, and that comes down right for Kenaway. Kenaway passes up to Mendez. Mendez controls. Still plenty of options for him as Kenaway and Barbosa move in. Barbosa can't quite beat McMillian on that one as McMillian sends it right back up to Bescherano. Bescherano back to Halliday. That's Kevin Halliday to McMillian, and the Jumbos move it right back into Beacon territory. Zach Halliday to Kolsar. Tyler Kolsar back again. Daniel Sullivan now being challenged by, that's number 31, D'Souza. And that's Coleman to McMillian. He's got Trevorrow. Options. Halliday's there as well. Passes to Halliday, but Halliday's going to send it right back to McMillian. Probing attack right now, just testing the waters as Trevorrow now starts to move in. Centers to Halliday. Halliday with just a little bit too much power on that pass forward, and Bescherano can't do anything with it. Castro makes the very easy save.
Yeah, and Halliday needed another touch there. He had space to work with and just rushed a one-time ball forward. And those are the kind of opportunities that the Jumbos need to take better advantage of.
Drop kick from Castro Dreyer is headed right back into Beacon territory as Bescherano makes the charge, but that's going to be easily cleared into way out of the field, and that's going to be saved by a fan far out of the bleachers. McMillian will take the corner as Dexter Eichhorst checks in for Kevin Halliday in the midfield. So no serious change to the formation, just fresh legs out there for the Jumbos.
Yeah, Halliday was looking pretty slow there at the 10 spot.
McMillian working, takes a fall, but nothing doing. He'll take the throw in. Kolsar. Back to McMillian, or excuse me, that was Halliday, Zach Halliday.
Mendez getting nutmegged.
Trevorrow, and a unfortunately botched kick from Dexter Eichhorst there. Just couldn't quite make the proper contact on that. He'll send that wide. And another really good opportunity for the Tufts, who have, as of the first 12 minutes or so in this half, have found a bit of their groove for the offense. They've made some plays happen, and they're putting a lot more pressure on Castro Dreyer, who's had to be definitely more aware than he was than he needed to have been in the first half. That's going to be sent right back into the Beacon defense, but that'll be cleared right into Jumbo territory. Mendez finally takes control, brings the ball back down to the ground. Davenport to Pior. Pior challenged by Bethencourt. Pass back to Castro, not quite to Castro Dreyer, but to Cunha. Trevorrow challenging, but that goes right to Davenport, who's immediately challenged by Kolsar. Kolsar fighting. 3v1. Doesn't quite make it happen. And that'll be taken by Barbosa. But Barbosa is immediately challenged by Halliday. Halliday moving into Beacon territory. Let's Pior send it back up to Davenport. Davenport back into the middle. The Beacon and back to Davenport in the middle. And the Beacons kind of need to get it out of the middle right now. They're very good on the wings, very good at moving it up and moving it deep into jumbo territory on the wings. But with numbers and physicality, it's difficult for to make anything happen with so many bodies in the middle. McMillian looking for the call for the throw-in. Nothing doing. Pior throws it into Cardoso. Pior back into the middle. Challenged by Kolsar. That's going to be a free kick for Tufts. Very quickly sent right back up to Kolsar from Lawson. Kenaway right back to Lawson. Lawson up to Eichhorst. Eichhorst to Bescherano. Bescherano to Halliday, and McMillian will get to reset as Trevorrow on the outside sends it right back to McMillian. Big kick from McMillian is a little bit too far, and a aerial deflection is just an utter failure.
Yeah, Lawson going for the flashy scissor kick goal. This game would go 0 to 100 real quick if that had gone in.
Swing and a miss, if we're going to use another baseball reference there. So unfortunate, but style points, I think. We'll give him a couple style points for that one, for being willing to go out there and try it out. In for Bescherano is Majumder once again. So very quickly now, or rather about a third of the way into the second half, Majumder's checked back in at the striker position. Some more physicality going for the ball. That's going to be a UMass-Boston throw-in as Mateus Reese comes up for the throw.
And with these substitutions, Shapiro seems content with the current flow of the game. UMass-Boston, no real chances going forward, so he's fine with the way they're at right now. He's happy with the half chances that Tufts has gotten so far.
Trevorrow loses it, but then that's picked up by his teammate Halliday, Zach Halliday. Lawson to Weatherby. Sterling Weatherby. Haven't seen much action from him, but he's moving up along the right side. Majumder to Eichhorst. Eichhorst out to Weatherby. That's still a jumbo throw-in as he's baited into knocking it out.
Gavin Tasker coming on. He'll replace Trevorrow on the left wing. I think we've seen a little bit more action with Tasker on the wing there, so an early move from Shapiro. Trevorrow just hasn't found a groove today.
Big throw into the center. Ball still bouncing around, and just a tiny bit too much power from Majumder on the header there once again.
Yeah, and Weatherby's got such a long throw that Sullivan came all the way forward, treating it like a corner kick. We see the Jumbos do that quite a bit.
Castro Dreyer, a little bit too, that was Pior. A little too lackadaisical on there. It's immediately challenged by Tasker, who moves in to create a little consternation, but that's cleared and just lost by Barbosa. McMillian retakes control, and the Jumbos still have possession of the ball. A little bit more of a reset as Coleman takes it back into Jumbo territory. Up to Zach Halliday. Halliday out to McMillian. Majumder asking for it, but McMillian doesn't like what he sees, so he and Halliday will pass it around a little bit in Jumbo territory as the clock winds further down. Coleman in the backfield sends it right up to Eichhorst. Eichhorst with a little tap to Tasker. Tasker challenged by Mendez, and that's a very sneaky win from Mendez there. Really heads-up play to keep us Tasker from making anything happen, but he's going to keep moving. Nice cross to Majumder. Majumder can't quite control it, and he'll be challenged immediately by Cunha, the rock of this Beacons defense, and a big from Kolsar there. Tyler Kolsar will send it all the way over the safety nets, actually, that are up behind the nets to keep the balls from doing exactly what just happened. So, little bit unfortunate for the failure there, but the game goes on. Castro Dreyer with the kick.
Yeah, Matt Zinner coming on to replace McMillian at left back. We see them do that change often. But you're really seeing the difference that Tasker brings on the wing there. He's got an incredible ability to get up to speed, use his pace, and then immediately stop on a dime and cross that ball into Majumder. It was beautifully placed.
Majumder up to Tasker, but Pior is there and sends that flying out of bounds. remarkably quiet stands from the Jumbos right now. They're packed right now, even more so than I'd say the Beacon side, but no real noise coming from the Jumbos. That's a Zach Halliday pulling the call from the ref on that one. Just a little bit too physical from Guillermo Barbosa. No big deal, as that's direct or indirect kick, it looks like. And Jumbo set up as they're going to scatter once Zinner signals that he's ready. Pass goes straight to Barbosa, though, and that's easily foiled. Weatherby, right to Kolser. Kolser back to Zinner. Zinner with another free kick-esque sent into the box. Majumdar tries to head it, but doesn't quite keep control of it. That's going to be D'Souza challenging. Davenport again. Big kick from Weatherby, and Majumdar is there. Sends it right into Casper Dreyer, who makes the easy save.
And the chances are building up for the Jumbos now, and it only takes a few of them to start to rattle the goalkeeper.
D'Souza challenging Kolser, but the Jumbos take it back. And the Jumbos, would have had a good advantage there. Would have been about a 3v3 or 3v4, but they are a little too quick on the draw and lose control. Coleman keeps his composure. Eichhorst working. Eichhorst against Barbosa. A little physical there, but getting a verbal warning from the ref on that one. Barbosa forward. That one's sent back to Cardoso. Cardoso still in control. And a big kick from Cardoso is wide. Greenwood very conscious of letting that sail out of bounds and taking the goal kick.
And substitutions here as Edmilson Barros comes back on, as well as Jackson Najar. And you can see the frustration in Cardoso's face. He's trying to get his team to move, but he was forced to take that shot there from about 40 yards because no one's moving for him.
Returning to the match, number 11, Edmilson Barros, replacing number 31, Rafael D'Souza.
Greenwood setting up for the kick. Most of the team past the midfield line. That will sail right into Beacon territory. No contest for it, interestingly enough. It's Gonsalves back again. Eichhorst working for it. Zinner, and there's going to be no contest for that as Coleman watches that roll out of bounds. He's just going to box out Barros on that one and let the goal kick happen again. Greenwood will set up for another and try again. Zinner on the left wing is being shadowed by Mendez, so nothing doing there. Hopeful for the easy way out. That's going to be lofted to the midfield line, though. Najar loses the battle, but Jumbos managed to take possession. Zinner working hard, but slips there of his own accord, and Mendez takes control. Zinner right back on it, though, still shadowing him. Across to Barros is saved by Coleman. Tasker regains control and moves it and sends it back out to Majumdar. A good attack there from the Beacons. Finally, a little bit of a coordinated effort there, but the Jumbo defenders prove again equal to the task. And a cross, big block from De Carvalho, or excuse me, that's Pior. Destin Pior with a nice block as that gets lofted. Sullivan heads it right back deep into Beacon territory. Eichhorst sends it up to Majumdar, but that's blocked by Pior.
And the game really opening up now. Both teams committing more numbers forward, and you're seeing the ball get out wide. That's what we want to see in these two offenses.
Coleman to Tasker. Tasker's tripped and no call. No call is made.
No, advantage was played.
A little bit of Lawson is there, but big shot, and there's the goal. There's the breakthrough that the Jumbos have been looking for. That was Dexter Eichhorst on the play there. Just too much time left for the Jumbos to make it there, and we're going to be looking for a replay in a couple seconds. But the ball was just down in the top of the box in just that perfect position to happen as we watch from our above level camera. Can't quite see too much going on, but just a beautiful shot, just lofted right over from lofted over Castro Dreyer, who just couldn't do anything about it. And as tall as he is, there's just shots up into the upper left corner like that are just extraordinarily difficult to make a play on. So
and just poor defensive coordination from the Beacons there. You know, it was the freshman midfielder Jake Davenport who was responsible. They just got caught up on a switch, and I, of course, realized it took one dribble and blasted it top left. And just a poor defensive effort there. And you've seen Eichhorst's energy since he's come on. He's been a physical presence, challenging every ball he gets to, and not afraid to take risks here. And he wasn't playing in the first half, but he's the energy that the Jumbos have needed all game.
Interesting play from Majumdar there, who falls over himself, and then realizing that he needed to just kill the play in order to have time to get back up, just went and grabbed the ball. And quick and easy penalty from the ref lets them pop back up and reset.
So only 22 minutes left. We're going to see UMass-Boston really open this game up now. They're going to commit numbers forward, and they're really going to push the ball.
Kenaway with the ball now at the top of the box, but that's going to be foiled by Zinner. Majumdar challenging Gonsalves. Gonsalves to Mendez. Klinsmann Mendez back out to Cardoso. Cardoso clears it back to Cunha. And Cunha, challenged by Majumdar, sends it right back to Mendez, who's immediately taken up by Tasker. Gavin Tasker there, who foils it, centers it oddly, but goes right to Kenaway. And a nice shot from Kenaway. Really beautiful shot, just goes the tiniest bit wide. You could see Greenwood flying in there, tries making sure that it wasn't going anywhere, but even he couldn't get his hand on that one. So lucky break for the Jumbos there as the star Beacon player Kenaway makes a really great shot from about 40 yards out.
And several substitutions. Rojas, Lane, and coming up for the first time for the Jumbos is Joe Braun at the striker position. So several substitutions here to try to deal with holding on to this lead now.
Freshman Joe Braun seeing his first action of the day. Not quite yet though. Tasker, Najjar in control now.
This game's already been physical, but you're going to see it ramp up a notch here, especially knowing the style that UMass-Boston plays with, but now down a goal. It's do or die for them.
Little pass behind Davenport is picked up by Reese, who sends it right back to Cunha. Cunha crosses over to Pior.
And you're seeing everyone except Joe Braun sit in now for the Jumbos. They'll be content to let UMass-Boston pass it around the back.
Najjar up to Halliday. Halliday moving it in to Beacon territory. Sees Brown.
And Braun with his size provides excellent hold-up play, and that's exactly what the Jumbos will want. They'll sit their midfielders back, play it up to him, and allow play to move up forward slowly. They don't want to get caught out on a counter.
Majumdar's there, driving in. Majumdar and Braun working to wind the clock down as Halliday. Rojas, excuse me. Rojas is up there with Braun. Clears it out to Lane. Lane with a little bit of a chest move there to keep the ball in play. Now it looks like Weatherby out on the wing. Now that's Majumdar that's Najjar and Rojas. Majumdar is out. Kenaway working against Zach Halliday there. Crosses over to Mendez. Mendez cuts right back to Kenaway. Kenaway, pass to Barros. Barros' attack is foiled by Sullivan. Mendez back out to Cardoso. Cardoso to Kenaway, and that's going to be cleared right back out to Pior. Braun, nothing doing, alone up in the Beacon territory. Pior, out to the left side for Gonzalez. Challenged by Tasker. Tasker back to Cardoso. He was immediately challenged by Rojas, who beats the defender there. Tasker, again, into Beacon territory. To Braun. Braun to Halliday. Challenged by Cardoso. Slips and falls, but Coleman is there to pick him up. And he will just send that back into Beacon territory. Tasker there. Doesn't quite have a play on the ball. And Gonzalez will take the throw-in. There's still time, though. Still plenty of time to make something happen. 18 minutes is a lot of soccer left to play. A lot of options for UMass to make something happen. And Zinner draws the call from the ref there. You can see how easily he got back up from the Cardoso contact there. Just capitalizing on the physicality of play from both teams right now. Just a little bit too much from Cardoso. Jumbos will take control in their backfield again.
Yeah, and Tufts not prioritizing scoring on that one. UMass-Boston sat their defenders in, but Tufts just content to play it around the back instead of sending a ball in on that free kick.
That's a breakaway from Davenport. A really great play. Davenport alone up against 5 defenders there. Can't quite make a play though as Greenwood charges out and forces a shot to go wide left of the goal there. Jumbos will be able to will be able to reset their defense with the goal kick from Greenwood, who will just send it up to about midfield again.
And that was sloppy positioning from the Jumbos on that. With those kind of numbers, you can't let one person get forward with the ball and make that kind of run.
Lofted to Cardoso, who heads it right back into Jumbo territory. Little volley is continued by Rojas and Halliday, and Ajar, and Lane, and Braun. Lane and Braun moving forward. Cunha lets that slide, and Braun isn't there to capitalize as Castro-Dreyer makes the play. Castro-Dreyer making some moves to go to Gonzalez, but Tasker threatens and keeps the ball on the right side.
And they'll bring it back for a Braun foul.
That was Cunha on the free kick there, sending it right up to Kenaway, who beats the defender. A little bit of a push there from Rojas. It doesn't quite mess him up too much. Not enough to pull a call from the ref. Lane up the side to Braun, but Cunha is there to take control. Cunha with a bit of a whiff is pulled, and Braun is pulled down by Cunha as Braun was looking to make a bit of a move towards the goal with only Pior there to Pior and then Castro-Dreyer in between him. So free kick for the Jumbos as Zinner moves forward, and what looks to be a yellow card for Cunha, who's, as we just can't speak of him highly enough, has just been the rock of this Beacon's defense and just couldn't quite help out when that goal was scored a few minutes ago.
Yeah, pretty identical to the challenge we saw from Zinner in the first half. Same spot too, and both defenders getting yellow cards for it, but a smart challenge by Cunha there. Really can't let Braun get one-on-one with the keeper from that position. Going down 2-0 would certainly be the final nail in the coffin here. Update from Neskak foes Amherst. They leveled up against Brandeis. They've got about 15 minutes left in that game as well, so that one might be going to extra time.
Zinner's kick is lofted, and a really nice header from Braun. Just bounces just the tiniest bit wide, and that's going to be a Beacon goal kick. So
yeah, Braun called for the foul actually, so it'll be a free kick. And a substitution here, so the referee not letting play continue as Majumder comes back on to replace Braun.
Really nice play from Braun, making a couple plays happen now that the Jumbos are up and wasting some time as the clock heads into the final third of this 45-minute period. Still a very close game right now, and still a lot of soccer left to play.
So Majumder also good in hold up, not quite as tall as Braun, but provides the pace that Braun doesn't have.
And that cross bounces over the head of Mendez, so it's jumbo throw in. Zinner and Kolsar in the backfield as Coleman considers his options, sees Kenaway, and keeps control. Lofts it right over to Majumder, who sends a nice little header pass to Tasker, but that's intercepted. But then Tasker's pass is intercepted by Davenport and is taken control by the Beacons. Gonzalez back to Pior. Pior just over Tasker's head to Mendez, but he's being challenged by Zinner. Gonzalez to Cardoso to Mendez, straight by my head actually. That was surprisingly close. So
you got to win that aerial duel. Come on.
Well, it's a good thing I'm not a soccer player. I'd probably get would not end well for me. Is all I can say. Cardoso out to Kenaway. Kenaway now looking to really make something happen, but his pass goes just a bit wide of Mendez, and Zinner takes the throw for Tufts as Beacons have really started to push forward into Jumbo territory now, needing to be more aggressive with only 14 minutes left to play. Big throw from Zinner. Rojas with a header pass to Majumder, who keeps control. Still has control. And his pass up to Tasker is good, and Tasker takes control as they push deep back into Beacon territory. Little fake out, crossed, and that's going to be sent out by Pior for another Tufts corner kick. Just really absolutely what the Jumbos need when it comes down to how to play this game. They don't need to score now that they're up 1-0, but wasting this time and keeping it from keeping the ball in a Beacon territory, really deep in Beacon territory for that matter, is just nothing but beneficial for the Jumbos.
Yeah, and again, Tasker, just incredible pace with the ball. A lot of players can run without it, but Tasker has an ability to keep it on a string in front of him and go full pace in with possession.
Entering number 4, Pedro Carvalho.
Pedro de Carvalho coming back in.
Crispin Mendez.
Mendez going to the bench. Great ball from Zinner.
Taken control by Rojas, who juggles it. Cross to Lane, beaten by De Carvalho. Majumder's shot no good, and that's going to be cleared by the Beacons. Tasker takes control again. That's going to be an easy save for Castro Dreyer. Out to Gonzalez. Gonzalez looking at his options. Challenged by Rojas. Rojas getting a little too physical with his play. Looking for Rojas to give him a little space on that free kick. Kenaway out to Cunha. Cunha pushing forward into Jumbo territory. Sets it up for Barros. No play there. Barros still working. And that's going to be a free kick for the Beacons in a really ideal position for a shot on goal.
And a couple fouls in a row there from Rojas. He's got to watch out. He might get a yellow for persistent infringement there.
Beacons scattered, but they'll be moving into position when Kenaway's ready. 2 backs still for the Beacons to contain anything that might come out. Majumder and Rojas on the wall to prevent any direct shots on goal. Lofted, but no one's there to pick it up. And Rojas takes control and clears it out with a big heave. And Majumder charging in to challenge Cardoso. But he doesn't quite, but he overshoots by just a bit.
And Majumder's got fresher legs than Cardoso, who's been playing all game. But he's still a workhorse, the engine for this midfield for the Beacons.
Barbosa foiled by Zinner. Halliday charging in, falls over himself. That's going to be a free kick, actually, looks to be Barbosa, shaking in his head. Zinner sets up as Tasker and Majumder are the 2 Jumbo players. Lane moving up into the center. Kenaway back to Davenport. Cardoso takes control. Majumder challenging once again. Barbosa kicked right into Zinner. Opportunity for Barros. Can't do anything with it. Gonzalez to Cardoso. Very high kick from Brett Rojas, who is very upset with the results, with the whistle on that play, but pretty not okay to be kicking up near the head of opposing players. So good call from the ref to keep things as equal as possible.
And that curler just goes high for Barros there as Najar comes back in to replace Rojas. And a smart decision. Rojas with 3 fouls over the span of about 3 minutes there. I was surprised he actually didn't get a yellow card on that high boot. But a wise change by Shapiro nonetheless.
And with just about 10 minutes left to play, the Beacon options are running out. Time is running low, and something needs to happen if Beacons need to find a chink in the armor of the Tufts defense if they're going to stay alive in this NCAA tournament. Big kick is blocked by Lane. Can't even tell what happened there, but a foul on Cardoso. A little bit of pushing from Cardoso to get the ball back. Draws some boos from the Tufts crowd. But it's still a Beacon free kick as Barrows tries to make a move, but is foiled by Najjar. Najjar up to Kolsar. Kolsar's foiled, but that's sent right back to Sullivan. Sullivan out to Weatherby. Sterling Weatherby, the right back, stands by as Kolsar moves in again. Another UMass-Boston throw-in.
That was an excellent challenge from Najjar. Brought on to replace Rojas. Rojas was a little too feisty with his challenges and was causing too many fouls for the Jumbo's defense. So great play by Najjar.
Mohamed Kenaway still trying to make something happen. Gonzalez foiled by Tasker, sliding in from Majumdar. Pior still working, passes back to Castro Dreyer. Castro Dreyer who switches up the fields. That's going to be Cunha again. Some UMB chants going on as Tasker loses control of that, but with Barbosa there to pick it up. Barbosa back to Kenaway. Kenaway really no numbers advantage here as he lofts one up into a really beautiful kick, and that was looked to be Barrows coming in, Edmilson Barrows, but Greenwood positioned himself beautifully, cut off Barrows, and made the catch before anything else could happen to it.
Yeah, excellently played by Greenwood. A lesser keeper would have punched that away, but he managed to hold on to it in a dangerous area.
Jumbo defense just sends it right back up to Casper Dreyer. Now with 8 minutes left to play, the Jumbos are all really just focusing on grinding down the clock as much as possible. Pass back to Greenwood. Takes another 5 seconds off the clock. Big kick from Greenwood to Pior. It's challenged by Majumdar. Zach Lane moving the ball up the right side for the Jumbos. Little hop move around the defender there. No good. Halliday with a sloppy kick. Just a little squibbling forward at the top of the box. He had some options to work with, but just decided to take a quick shot, and that didn't go anywhere.
And the striker carousel goes around again for the Jumbos as it's Besharano back up top to finish off the game. Excellent run from Lane there, getting past 2 men. The Jumbos will love having him for the next 3 years out on the wing.
Tasker tags out for number 9, Kevin Halliday, as the Jumbos move back to their 4-4-2 formation with Besharano, or honestly a 4-5-1 with Besharano being the lone striker up top.
Yeah, the 4-2-3-1, and defensively now we've got Kolsar playing as the 10, the center attacking mid. We haven't seen him in that spot much this year, so Jumbo's definitely trying to win defensive control of the midfield with Halliday, Najjar, and Kolsar all in the game now.
Up to Kevin Halliday, who takes control, content to consider his options and let the clock wind down towards 6 minutes to play.
Additionally, Lawson back to the right wing for Lane. So Shapiro going with his experienced members. You see many seniors and juniors out here right now for the Jumbos trying to lock up this win.
Halliday wins that battle as Besharano moves into the midfield. Move around Cardoso. Big slide from Halliday. Doesn't do anything, but Zach Halliday moves in to take control. Halliday to Halliday. Zach to Kevin. Kevin back to Zach. They're just holding as best they can right now. Gonzalez. Big kick right out of bounds. Zinner takes the throw as the two Hallidays move out to give Zinner options.
And there is no stoppage time in this, so UMass knows the time on the clock, and that's what they've got. The referee can stop the clock for injuries or other substitutions, but it's 5:22, and that's it that UMass has to level this up. Otherwise, they're going home.
Back in control, well, not for long, as Kolsar challenges Davenport. Davenport moving around. Gonzalez considering his options, and back to Kenaway. Kenaway, who has really been successfully shut down by this Jumbo defense, just hasn't been able to make any plays without his usual partner, O'Kane Williamson, to help him out here. So just too much of a burden to bear, but still just under 5 minutes left. A lot can happen in 5 minutes. throw in back to De Carvalho. Cardoso beaten by the slide. That's going to be Kevin Halliday, challenged by Cardoso again. Clean play. Picked up by Bescherano. Bescherano out to Lawson, it looks like.
Great ball by Bescherano. Just keeping this possession alive for the Jumbos, taking another minute off the clock.
4 minutes to play for left in this Sweet 16 round between the UMass-Boston Beacons and the Tufts Jumbos. Beacons need to make something happen soon, or else they are going home. Sent up to Cunha, who's moved up into Jumbo territory now, eschewing his former defensive role as Reese and Pior take command of that. Gonzalez and Cardoso as well. Whole team moving up far past the midfield line with 3.5 minutes left to play. One's taken by Sullivan. Bescherano looking for the ball, but Cardoso is there. Top of the box, easy save for Greenwood, who falls on top of it and slowly walks to the top of the penalty box, motioning for his team to get further out. And he'll take the drop kick to Lawson. Lawson straight back to Weatherby. Weatherby will loft it back up to Bescherano. Bescherano making a play on Castro Dreyer, taking care not to take him out.
And really intense pressure from the Jumbos here. One of the best ways to run the clock down is to pressure the other team in their own half. Jumbo's not making it easy for the Beacons to get forward.
Kenaway just behind Gonzalez.
And that's exactly what the pressure does. There wasn't even pressure on Kenaway there, but just the psychological game of the Jumbos being around every corner and being right on each man, covering the adjacents, forced that turnover there.
That's a UMass Medford chant, I believe, is what I heard coming from the Jumbo side. Last minutes to game, Bescherano. This is a Halliday, still challenging in the Beacon corner, and Christian Zazali has checked into the game for the first time. Last 2.5 minutes or so for fresh legs on the forward presence as he moved in against Cardoso. Cardoso, who's been playing this whole game, as we mentioned before, absolute workhorse, but he's got to be feeling tired now. Trips over himself, and lots of falling going on right now.
Yeah, Cardoso looked like he was flopping over on the ground. He's still down, getting up, trying to sell it to the ref, and he's all right. Really just trying to win a free kick at this point.
Well, nothing really else to do at this point with 2 minutes left to play now. Free kick was awarded to Tufts on that one as another little scramble ended up with, I believe it was Zinner on the ground. Zinner will move forward though. Let Greenwood take this one. Greenwood will, with the easy kick, will take it and then head back into goal. That one's sent all the way back out to Pior, but straight to Castro Dreyer, actually. Castro Dreyer with another booming punt. Coleman will take it. De Carvalho, nothing doing. Reese back to Pior. Pior with a big kick down in front. That's going to be foiled by Najjar. Zazali making a move. But Cardoso's back again, making a play, and another fall he will draw the call this time. Bit more physicality. Didn't need to sell it nearly as much as he did that first time around, but that's going to be the best. This is going to be probably the best and last opportunity for the Beacons to tie this game up at 1, as there are 70 seconds left to play.
Yeah, and the referee stopping the clock to get out the spray. Not in a position to shoot, really. That would be adventurous, but they'll probably go try to get the ball in near the back post and go for a header. About 30 yards out. So maybe a little too long for Cunha. 3-man wall.
Keeper Castro Dreyer is all the way up at the midfield line. Every single Mass player is there. far out. Reese, big play.
Blocked by Sullivan.
Sullivan comes charging in.
And that'll stay in bounds, importantly.
Remaining in the second half.
Zizali to Bescherano. Bescherano with a shot that just goes a bit too high. And it's truly been the nail in the coffin with being down 2-0 with only a minute left to play. Clock is still ticking down, though, and there are 40 seconds left. So time for maybe one last charge and one last desperate shot on goal for the Beacons, but not much else. That's going to be a jumbo throw-in, and that's probably going to be it. With 30 seconds left to play and a jumbo throw-in, options have run out for the Beacons, and it looks like their trip to the NCAA tournament is coming to an end. Big throw all the way back into Beacon territory. Less than 20 seconds to play, and that'll be it for the UMass-Boston Beacons in this 2016 NCAA D3 men's soccer tournament.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Still plays being made. Really big kick from UMass-Boston, and that'll be it. Really great game from this UMass-Boston team. Just an absolutely fantastic first half from both teams. And really, it was only about that one sort of lapse in defensive judgment that led to the one goal from Eichhorst. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, who'd have thought it'd be the substitute who didn't even play in the first half coming on, but you saw his energy coming out. Took advantage. The midfielder, Davenport, just gave up on him, and top of the box, took one dribble, blasted it top left corner, and that's all it takes sometimes. But excellent defending from the Jumbos. Their 5th shutout win at home. Another clean sheet for Scott Greenwood, which he's the record holder for Tufts goalkeepers in career clean sheets. But an excellent defensive performance from the Jumbos today.
Just absolutely have to give some shout-outs to Marcelo Cunha, Mateus Reese, and the UMass-Boston defense, really, because they did a fantastic job despite that one lapse in sort of judgment. That this jumbo attack is really multifaceted and honestly, quite good. They've made it to the Elite 8 now after being bounced in from the first round of the NESCAC tournament by Bowdoin. And so just really can't speak highly enough, especially of Castro Dreyer, who also made some really nice plays to keep the game as close as it ended up being.
Yeah, excellent defense on both sides. Also credit to the Jumbos, keeping a team that averages over 3 goals a game to 0 today. And I think, looking at my records, UMass-Boston hasn't been blanked in any of their games this year. So Tufts doing what no one else has been able to do to their crosstown foes. But also a great success story for this UMass-Boston program. They've only gone to the NCAA tournament twice before this year, and they've never won a game. And 2 years ago, they came to Medford. Their program turned.
Indeed, the season titles and 3 Little East Conference for this UMass.
They were a commanding presence, but good to see both.
And handshake going. Really, actually. After that little bit of controversy from the UMass-Haverford game, really cleanly played game for both teams. So really happy to see some great soccer.
Texas, who's one of the big favorites in this tournament, or they play Kenyon, who knocked them out last game. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Some good, or stick around for this next of D3 men's soccer action coming at you. We've got Trinity, Texas versus Kenyon, probably in about half hour to 40 minutes or so right here on JumboCast. So we'll be swapping out commentators and joining us for this, and we will see you next time.
trying to read on her,